From pioneer films to modern-day blockbusters, today we'll be taking a look at the biggest box office movies of all time. It's an all-star cast featuring the top 3 all-time highest domestic grossing films, along with those adjusted for inflation. James Cameron's Avatar took the box office by storm domestically and worldwide. Released in December of 2009, the adventure fantasy brought in over $2.78 billion. One of the first live-action blockbusters to be shot in digital 3D, the cameras used were designed by Cameron himself. This new technology allowed Cameron to capture the actors' performances in 3D, then at a later date shoot from any angle by looking through a virtual camera, no actors present. A lot went into the making of Avatar, and guess what? There's 3 sequels on the way. Avatar 2 hit screens in 2017, followed by the 3rd and 4th in 2018 and 2019. Fun fact, despite its mighty run at the box office, when we adjust for inflation, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs jumps ahead and Avatar drops to 10th place on the all-time list. Not that we're trying to take anything away from James Cameron. I mean, the guy has a history of box office domination. Before Avatar topped the list, he held top spot with Titanic for 12 years.
I'm the king of the world!
Titanic was released in 1997 and has made $658.7 million to date. Like many of the flicks on our list, this came as a result of multiple releases. Even after adjusting for inflation, Titanic still comes in at number 5 with a whopping $1.1 billion, surpassing Avatar. Compared with other blockbusters like Jurassic Park and Star Wars, Titanic began with virtually no marketing support. Nobody anticipated its level of success, but almost every demographic flocked to its doors, with the whole Leo DiCaprio heartthrob factor and compelling plot based on real events contributing to the film's mass appeal. Coming in at 3rd place is Marvel's The Avengers. Drawing 6 superheroes together for one epic action feature proved a hit with fans, earning $623.4 million. Over the years, Marvel characters have developed their own following: Iron Man, the Hulk, Captain America, and Thor. So when the public found out these guys would be joining forces in the one film with the addition of 2 newbies, Hawkeye and Black Widow, well, let's just say there are a lot of solid pants. Nick Fury's assembling of the Avengers even overtook the final Harry Potter installment. But, and there's always a but, when we allow for inflation, the superheroes dropped to 24th place, defeated by 4 of the Star Wars films, as well as The Lion King, Jurassic Park, and The Godfather. So then, adjusting for inflation, which film holds down number 1 spot on the all-time box office list? The film still atop the pedestal since 1939 is a 76-year-old film that brought in the biggest bucks relative to the time of release.
Oh, Red, please don't go. You can't leave me, please. I'll never forgive you.
Gone with the Wind is an epic American historical war romance that grossed over $200.2 million, and this was in the 30s. When we adjust the figures, this novel adaptation represents $1.9 billion. Not that they didn't put some money into it themselves, this classic was the longest, most expensive and successful Hollywood film ever made at that point in time. It was the pinnacle of filmmaker David O. Selznick's career, demonstrating his ability to capture the target audience and their taste for romance, while staying relatively faithful to the novel from which it was adapted. It should probably be pointed out that this humble film also received 8 Academy Awards, as well as 2 honorary awards, for its use of colour for the enhancement of dramatic mood, and for pioneering in the use of coordinated equipment. Jedi fans will be pleased to know that Star Wars takes 2nd place on the podium. Released in 1977, the first film in the Galactic franchise has brought in just under $461 million at the domestic box office. Converted to the current market, the figures reflect $1.39 billion. George Lucas created a masterpiece in science fiction at a time when romantic war dramas were reigning at the box office. I feel like I don't need to explain the success of Star Wars, although a cool story. At the time, George Lucas was nervous he'd made a kids movie, and upon visiting his buddy Steven Spielberg on the set of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, he made a bet. The pair traded net profit points, giving them 2.5% of each other's films. Although Close Encounters did make over $300 million worldwide, Star Wars made over $460 million domestically. So that 2.5% is looking pretty neat right now. Fox did pretty well out of Star Wars, but the studio was also responsible for 3rd place. The Sound of Music was released in 1965, accumulating $163 million. This adjusts to almost $1.26 billion now. Acknowledged as a classic by countless generations of cinema buffs, The Sound of Music was panned by movie critics. That's not to say some didn't predict its success, with phrases like one of the top musicals to reach the screen and the best-loved picture of 1965 donning billboards. The not-so-impressed called the film not only too sweet for words, but almost too sweet for music, and designed for the 5 to 7 set and their mummies. But even director Robert Wise didn't jump at the movie initially, and lead man Christopher Plummer famously called it The Sound of Mucus. Julie Andrews also feared the role was too similar to Mary Poppins, whom she embodied a year earlier. But thank heavens for Miss Andrews, who single-handedly saved the production, as well as Lady Gaga's reputation at the Oscars this year. So there you have it. Avatar, Titanic and Marvel's The Avengers are the top-grossing films of all time, and when we adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind, Star Wars and The Sound of Music trample the takings of their current-day rivals.